Hey guys, it is the day after my local, so I just thought I'd share some of my thoughts and opinions about what happened on that. I'm gonna have some of the matches uploaded directly after this. I got one that happened before, and then my last two ones. I'm really upset with myself because I didn't record the first two ones, which were actually the ones that I won. But basically, I'm just gonna give some general thoughts on how Cyber Dragons can perform against various scenarios and matchups. So the four matchups I played, the first two ones, which I did win but did not record, unfortunately, were actually against a virtual world. Oddly enough, I did win those matches. The third and fourth, which I did record and will have uploaded later, were against Unchained and then against Zoo Eldritch, which, spoiler alert, I unfortunately did not win. They were able to outgrind me and out-resource me, unfortunately. But basically, I'm just going to go through not a whole deck profile, but I'm basically just going to point out what worked, what didn't, and what I might recommend changing. So first of all, the main MVPs of the deck were definitely Core, Hertz, Noxter, and Vier. For the monsters, Cyber Dragon was alright itself as well, but it was more so not necessarily situational, but it definitely came up, especially off of machine duplication, just being able to put a body on the board, just the fact that it's, essentially a free 2100 beater. Galaxy Soldier, whenever you see it, is amazing. That's why you play 3. It's a free body, it's a free Nova to Infinity, or however you want to go with that. So I'm definitely keeping that at 3. The Kaiju is actually surprisingly a pretty big star in and of itself, because just having a searchable Kaiju and having that active threat against them is really big. All your searchers, like Cyber Emergency, Machine Duplication, really good. Cyber Repair Plant, this is why we play this not just at 1. This came up so many times, and just seeing this card and being able to get to this card was really good. Ones that didn't end up coming up as much, surprisingly enough, Foolish Burial was kind of situational. I think having it as a one of is okay, but I more so ended up having to just side this card out because it didn't end up coming in as handy. I might consider replacing it with something else, but it can still come in handy, and it's an easy card to side out if you need extra deck stuff. I'm definitely keeping Feather Duster in. That ended up helping out a decent bit. Non-targeting Destruction is amazing. I am keeping that. Dragoon is definitely MVP. I am definitely keeping in that package. Tactics Talent was alright, didn't end up coming up as much as I thought. I might replace it with just more hand traps, but just being able to get some resources or having some outs to things is really nice. Like I said, Ash Blossom is just generically good in your deck or against any deck. Definitely came up pretty much every game. And Ghostpel is a pretty good hand trap format. One that I definitely would probably consider not necessarily replacing, but doing in tandem with, would definitely be Skullmeister. I do have those on the way. I don't have those on me, because there were some instances where they were using graveyard effects where Ghostpel didn't work because it was an engrave activated effect and you couldn't Ghostpel that. So I would definitely consider getting some Skullmeisters, which I am doing now. For the extra deck, definitely running both the Nova and the Makaba comes up. You'll see in one of my matches that I was able to get it to stick, but unfortunately they were able to out it before I was able to make use of it, but definitely having the Makaba as a threat is able to put them on edge and make them think twice about it. Infinity is second best card in this deck, next to Mr. Fair and Balanced himself. This card probably won me most of my games, if I am being honest. Just the fact that it's such a hard card to out. During the virtual world matchups, they either couldn't out it or they had to jump through some hoops to get to Zeus or something like that. Fun fact that I forgot, Zeus sends. He does not destroy, meaning Zeus is a Dragoon out, unfortunately for me. Speaking of Zeus, I don't even really think I made him during a game. Dragoon just ended up coming up a lot more, but definitely having that option available to you is really good. If you just need to out their board, or you just need another threat presence on the board, that definitely comes up. So having the Zeus package with the Thunder Charger is definitely a viable option to go with. I just didn't really end up using it, but it's still a really good path to go down if you need that. Contact fusing with your own kaiju or with other machines is definitely MVP. I am definitely keeping this in. Having this as a threat and an option, I never really ended up making it, actually, because they were able to have enough disruptions to where I wasn't able to follow through on the play. But this will definitely win you games. I had a couple path lines where I could go to that. They were just unfortunately able to stop it because they were familiar enough with the Cyber Dragon strategy to know that I was trying to establish both of these on the board. So I unfortunately wasn't able to follow through on it, but just the fact that you had this option available to you is just amazing. They never really stuck anything too much in the main monster zone unless they were going to kill me, so this never ended up coming up, but I would definitely keep this in just to generically out extra monster zone threats. And this, you're playing Cyber Dragons, never take this out. This card is honorary Cyber Dragon MVP themselves. It's just amazing. For the extra deck, oddly enough, this, oddly enough, didn't end up helping out. I'm probably actually going to replace this. I thought this was going to help me out so much more than it did. I think I may just have to let Droll go in the extra deck. It really didn't do anything. I had it for Virtual World, and they were they were able to jump around it. It almost did nothing, unfortunately. This is still a really good... Nibiru is still a really good threat to your opponent if you're able to get to it. A couple people overextended, and that would really... I never saw it, but unfortunately, just because I'm playing the 2-of. But if you can get to this is still really good. I'm definitely going to keep this in. This I'm definitely gonna keep in. I unfortunately didn't see it against the Zoo Eltlage, which would have really helped out. But I'm definitely keeping that in because that definitely comes in handy in a lot of matchups. The Lightning Storms I never really got to, unfortunately, because the matchups that I played, it just wasn't that good against. The only one I would have found it useful against would be the Unchained, but Unchained wants their stuff destroyed, so Lightning Storming their board is really, really bad for you, so you don't want to do that. I definitely recommend keeping this, though, for some of the back row problems that you could have. If you just need to generically out Eltlage stuff. I never actually did this against Eltlage because I was going first when I did that. If I was going second, I would definitely put this in against Eltlage. But it just never came up. But that's just because of the matchups and the situations I found myself in. I'm definitely keeping that in. The Cosmic Cyclones are... I didn't see them as much as I needed to, but these are definitely going to be handy and helpful, especially for like when it went up against Unchained. Their stuff has to be destroyed and sent to the graveyard. So if you banish it, then that's just great. So I'm definitely keeping these in. Having the interaction of the spell destruction is good. And then these, I saw this once, but I wasn't able to resolve it because they destroyed it before it was able to resolve, which I guess it made them waste the destruction, so it was really good. So I'm definitely keeping this in because being able to turn off spells for your opponent is really nice. I didn't end up being paired against a Sky Striker match this week. Thank God, I hate that matchup. But I'm definitely keeping this in because this is a really good card just to shut down spell-focused decks or just to stop their power spells. And then I never saw this and never ended up having to use that, but I'm definitely keeping this in because this is going to... if you just need to clear boards, you don't really care about your battle phase in this. You can clear their board and then establish Dragoon or something just to help you keep moving. But overall, I went 2-2 out of 4 matches, so I was just 1 away from topping. Kind of what I expected. I mean, it's Cyber Dragons. You're not going to do anything crazy with it. Plus, it's a local. I mean, what are you going to do? It's a few changes I would make, and I guess that's just my generic thoughts on that. I'll have some of the matches uploaded after this. I have an exhibition match that I didn't play in. I think it was... I want to say Heroes versus Sky Striker. If I'm remembering correctly. Yeah, it was Heroes versus a guy that I won some of my cards with a Sky Striker. He didn't really know how to play it, so it was kind of funny. I'll have that uploaded, and then I'll have my 3rd and 4th round against Unchained and Zoo Eltlage uploaded to that. I unfortunately did not record my Virtual World matches because those went both really well for me and they were really funny. The first one, I went first and I was able to establish Infinity and Dragoon. He just wasn't able to out it, so I outgrinded him and I was able to negate him enough and then swing for game. He took the second game because he was able to establish Calamities and make it stick. But then the third game, we both bricked, and then I just drew into the resources I needed before he did, so I got lucky, essentially. The second Virtual World matchup, pretty much the same thing. I was able to establish Dragoon. I was able to grind him and out resources him. He outed it with Zeus, but then he was out of resources, and then I was able to find the resources I need. Second game, he was able to stop too much of my stuff, and he was able to establish a board. And third game, I think pretty much the same thing. I was able to out-resource him because Dragoon is a hell of a card. And that's pretty much how that went. I really wish I recorded that. Kind of upset that I didn't. But I'll have the rest uploaded. That's just my general thoughts. I'll get to uploading these right now, and hope you have a great rest of the day, and hope you enjoy.